Will it come back? If you've asked yourself this question after finishing breast cancer treatment, then I want you to know you're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most common struggles after treatment that most women deal with, and that's the fear of a recurrence. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Zacobia, and I wear many hats, many titles, but what probably brought you to my channel is the fact that I am a breast cancer survivor, and I like to talk about things that most people don't talk about. And so welcome to my channel, and let's dive in. So why this fear is normal, or why is this fear normal? Because I'm going to consider it normal, and I know that most breast cancer survivors would say the same thing. And so the fear is considered normal because almost every survivor goes through this, especially like before checkups and scans. It's also known as scanxiety. It's just a reality because the fear comes from trauma. It comes from PTSD. It comes from just, knowing that cancer did happen before. And so if it happened before, you almost have this subconscious feeling like, well, why couldn't it happen again? I mean, it did it before. It snuck up on me before. And so because of that, it's so much uncertainty with it that, I want people to know that this is normal. What you're feeling is normal. And this is a normal process of your healing. You're not weak. You're not ungrateful. You're not crazy. What you're feeling is real. And it's okay to process those feelings, to process the fear, because the fear is real and you're not alone in it. So what are some of the coping strategies that have helped me deal with the same fear that I carry? I'll be honest, for the most part, I try not to think about it like as much as possible. And what I mean by I try not to let the fear consume my thoughts. I'm not saying that I don't have those moments where, those little thoughts, those intrusive thoughts get in there and, start to make you have doubt. What I'm saying is when it happens, I don't let it stay long. And so I think it's important to, acknowledge those feelings. I've said this before in a previous video. It's so important to acknowledge what you're going through, or what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. But it's also important not to stay there. You cannot stay in a place of fear because the fear will consume you. It will overwhelm you. And so I like to tell other folks, like, even if it's like you just scheduling, worry time, just a couple minutes to just go through whatever that fear is, yell, scream, get it out. And then once you get it out, let's ball that up, bottle it up, and let's tuck it away. Because now you need to roll into a position of strength and positive affirmation. And so one of the things that I do, or one of, if you've been watching any of my videos, then you know that I am a Christian. I am a follower of Christ. And so what has been important for me along the journey and still to this day is basically keeping my foundation strong. And so have some scriptures that you can hold on to if you're a Christian. If you're not, I invite you to welcome Jesus in your life, because Jesus is absolutely amazing. And I can't imagine doing life without Jesus. But if you're not, then maybe if you can just get some positive affirmations to repeat over and over and over, because there is power in what comes out of our mouth and what we believe. And so Isaiah 53:5 is one of my favorite verses that basically talks about Jesus was wounded for our transgressions. He basically carried all of the stuff that we're carrying already. And so by his stripes, we are already healed. And so that was, like I said, one that I held on to firmly throughout the process, because I had to believe that I was healed before the healing took place. And so even on the backside of it, as you deal with fear, as I deal with fear, I still have to remind myself that that healing was real, that the healing is real, and that I'm experiencing just a figment of, a small part. But the big picture is that I am healed. and that healing didn't leave me. It's even times where I will question myself, like, do you believe it? Like, you do know you were already healed. It has already taken place. And so I stand firm on that foundation, and that has been huge for me in this process. Another thing that's important is to, talk it out, express your feelings. If you have a significant other, you guys can share those thoughts and feelings together, because I'm sure it's something that crosses their path occasionally as well. And so, you're not going through a cancer diagnosis alone. And so you're not going through the journey on the other side alone as well. And so that fear is real for those around you as well. And so it's important to talk it out, and, express those feelings. And together you guys can build each other back up and come back to that place of being strong and, being a believer in whatever words you're standing on. Another thing that has been huge for me on the journey of survivorship is staying present in whatever it is that's going on. I am so intentional on being present in the moment and enjoying every single moment of life and what life has to offer. I feel like when you focus more on what is real, what is true, what is present for you for that time, then it gives you less space to be able to focus on the fear or, whatever has popped up in that moment to give you the anxiety, to make you believe something other than what God has already spoken. And so, yeah, be present and be thankful and be grateful as much as possible. Again, it doesn't negate those feelings of fear when they come up, but we do not want that to consume your day. We don't want that to consume your thought process, and it's important not to let it do that. And so that's been huge for me. I say it as easily as possible because it's something that I truly practice every single day. I have an appointment coming up next week, and I can't promise you that I'm not going to go in there having a little bit of anxiety or worry or anything like that. But I will tell you is that I'm not going to focus on the worry. I'm going to go back and focus on the word and the word of God, because that is what is true to me in my life. Other things that kind of help get through, those worry, anxiety, those moments of fear and things like that is just, being active. Like I said, I talked about being present, but also be active, like enjoy your life, go out and do things that, have value to you, that are meaningful to you, because if you are on the path of survivorship, that means that God has given you another opportunity. And so don't focus too much on how long this opportunity is, and if this will come back and how many years of survivorship that you can have. Focus on what you have and what is real and what is true in the moment. And so go out and live your life. Something that I tell people when they're newly diagnosed is that, like my grandmother used to say things like it always could be worse. Anytime I was going through something that was challenging and I'd feel like doomed and, like all hope was lost, my grandma would remind me, or just, get me to acknowledge and see that, okay, I know that this is bad, but it could be worse. And so when you know that things could be worse, you have a different perspective on how things are in that moment. And so sitting there worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet, like, does that make sense? No. So focus on things that are happening. Focus on the truth. And like I said, what's real to you in your life. Another thing is just scheduling, time to just treat yourself. Get out, get massages, go to the spa, do things that make you feel good, do things that make you absolutely enjoy life, because life is such a long, beautiful gift that we're giving. And I think that it's so important that we shift our focus on that. Shifting your focus is what's going to help weed out those moments of fear that pop up. The other thing I'll tell you is to make sure you continue to stay off of Google. I have said that before. Google is not your friend, so just go ahead and get that off. If you're going to be on Google, Google things that you can do that are going to make your life amazing and make you have fun and enjoyable. So Google trips. If you're going to Google anything, Google trips, vacations, Google fun things to do, um, things that you've always wished you could that you didn't do. Figure that out on Google, but don't look at any of the other stuff. The other thing is being more prepared for your appointments. So, once you get on the road of survivorship, you're not going as often as you was going. And so, take that opportunity to, when things come up, you got a question about anything, write it down so that when you see your provider, because again, you're not seeing them as frequently as you would see them when you're going through treatment. And so when you have those opportunities, like, ask all the questions that you have. That's what they're there for. Take that time to just, share those fears and everything with them as well, because honestly, if there's anything to worry about, that is going to be the number one person that is going to tell you that you should worry about something. And so, have those conversations with your provider. And if they're telling you not to worry, trust them and don't worry, because worrying doesn't do you any good anyway. If anything, it only makes things worse. Okay. Stress, anxiety, worry, all of that makes your life, your physiological aspect of your body and all of that, it just makes it worse. So but trust them when they say it. That's a quick little, motivational speech for anybody that's on the path of survivorship. The key takeaway, like I said, fear, it can come visit, and it's probably going to visit. And you're not crazy for letting it come visit occasionally. But trust and believe that it cannot stay. Don't let it unpack. Don't let it stay more than 2 weeks, because then you got to serve an eviction notice. That's a little real estate thing right there. But no, seriously, don't let it stay. Like I said, it can visit occasionally, not too often. And when it does, let it know it has to go. The time has come. You have overstayed your welcome fare, and it's time for you to go. And you let it go. Let it go and focus on peace. Focus on faith, focus on things you enjoy, focus on living. Enjoy your life. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Again, just know we can't control the future. We can only control the present moment that you are existing in. Nobody knows what the future holds. And so we can't worry about things that haven't happened yet. Worry about the things that are happening right now. Worry about the moment that you exist in right now, and understand that together we're not just surviving, we are thriving. And thriving means that you are living. You are, enjoying every moment that you have. And so if you found this video helpful, please like, comment, share, share it with someone else that you think may benefit from it. And just, let me know down in the comments, like, if you have some other things that have helped you with your fear of a recurrence, like, let us know in the comments, because I'm sure other people have other things that they feel like have helped them as well. And so, maybe you don't want to do a whole channel talking about it, but you can leave that down in the comments and help someone else. So let me know down in the comments what has helped you in this journey to fight fear and, get over that overwhelming feeling of what if it comes back. All right. Thanks, guys. Peace.